lettuce on it, and tomato. Oh, hey, the run's starting. So as you can see, Radioactive Fog is currently running on the Japanese version of the game, whereas Diceroll is running on the North American version of the game, which means that Diceroll has a disadvantage of approximately 30 seconds, which is fine. It's not that big a deal. So for Area 1, what we're going to do is we're going to sit here and we're going to see who is faster than whom. Interestingly enough, for Area 1 and only Area 1, NTSCU is actually faster than NTSCJ. The times are a little bit desynced, not too bad, but it looks like Radioactive Fog's time is about half a second ahead of Diceroll's. So they're probably actually on almost equal pace. They might actually... Yeah, I think they're actually very close to exactly at the same pace. Radioactive Fog has been improving at this game pretty quickly lately, and Diceroll has only just started running the game, although he has certainly improved quickly given the small amount of time that he's been running the game. Both of them both of them achieving the first double in the ante-room. Radioactive Fog and Diceroll both leading the second double pretty far to the left. They also both got it, so far so good. As you can see, they go for one of the ghosts and then the other, instead of the double, so that they can spawn that double right away, both of them getting their doubles. So far, these runners haven't made any major mistakes. And that continues as they've both got these doubles as well. Let's see who has the more optimal key dragging. Looks like Radioactive Fog did. That puts him ahead a little bit. He also had more optimal movement to the door as well. All of that is just indicative of the fact that he's run the game for a longer period of time, because that small optimization just comes with experience and gradually familiarizing yourself with the ways that you have to do the things. Interestingly though, Diceroll is now ahead because he's on English text, which has less text boxes than NT. Although he did just... Okay, there we go. I was gonna say, he did almost miss Neville. So, Radioactive Fog here with a 312 key grab, and Diceroll with a 314. Someone in chat asks, are you really going to do ASMR all race? Failing to realize that this is actually just how I speak. Come on, we want you to speak. Okay, so I'll speak in a normal voice until Area 1 or until something funny happens. Alright, let me just put on my normal face. So now, Radioactive Fog is on his way to Chauncey's room, where he is gonna go and get the rocking horse. Fortunately, Diceroll's not too far. I forgot what I was saying. Something about a rocking horse. His angle's okay. Diceroll's a bit closer to the rocking horse, but he does the thing where you back up too early. Oof. Radioactive Fog missing the first ball shots. Whoa! Diceroll not missing it. Right, so Radioactive Fog still maintaining a bit of a lead, but that can change. After all, this is Luigi's mansion. Anything can happen. Radioactive Fog might just give up halfway through and decide, you know what, Luigi's mansion's not for me. I'm not gonna raise it anymore. I don't need to subject myself to this. Who knows? Let's give us our best Chauncey impression, guys. Come on, Tell me in chat right now what Chauncey sounds like. I'll go first. He says, ga. Hey, the times got synced whilst I wasn't looking at the screen. Cool. Radioactive Hog with the first ball shot. Diceroll with an even faster first ball shot, although he does have a bit of an optimized first ball shot, I've noticed. Rawr, rawr. That doesn't sound like Chauncey, that sounds like every kid who went to middle school with me. Myself included, of course. I was all about that life. Radioactive Fog getting hit on purpose. Diceroll following suit shortly after to get some invincibility range so they can catch this ball really, really quickly. Both of them up, never mind. Diceroll went a little bit too early. Radioactive Fog with the 608 Chonsiki. Diceroll with the 615 Chonsiki. Alright, so that puts them 7 seconds apart. Early release could shift things, who knows? So as you can see, they are now on their way to the Ghost Portrificationizer, and will be turning those 3 portrait ghosts that they've caught back into portraits. I think this is time for some donations, wouldn't you agree? We've got a $15 donation from Dave from Carolina who says, "My wife left me. I haven't spoken to my kids in 3 months, but that's okay, because I don't have to pay child support and can use that money for high-quality fiber optic internet to allow me to watch the Luigi's Mansion No Out of Bounds 2019 tourney with 0 latency. Thank you for the donation." As you can see, Radioactive Fog is now just about done with this cutscene. And now Diceroll is about done with that cutscene. Fujoga, Sammy Fujoga, Mini Mesa. Someone in chat says, "Commentator sounds like a perv, just saying." Just gonna leave that out there, not really gonna respond, just let it immortalize that for the VOD. Will Radioactive Fog get these 2 at once, or will we have a panic attack in it? He does not. Is emotionally stable. Diceroll opting to do the same. Oh, nope, he had a panic attack. Sorry, Diceroll. Looks like you're in need of some Klonopin. So that's alright, because again, early release could change things. Radioactive Fog going the long way around that corner. Diceroll will probably do the same, because I've seen him before. Yeah, he likes to go the long way around the corner, because he wants to go slow, I suppose. It's for dramatic effect, I assure you. Radioactive Fog misses the first Shy Guy, Diceroll misses the Scare Skip on the first Shy Guys, but doesn't miss the first Shy Guys. Now it's time to see if he will get early release, or if Diceroll will take the lead. That's the phrase that I should use. He does not get early release. Diceroll has a chance here, guys. Cross your fingers and toes. Looks like Diceroll also doesn't get early release. How many times can Foop say Shy Guys in one sentence? Find out after the break.
Oh yeah.
It's okay because neither runner got early release, which prevents there from being. Let's try that sentence again. That's okay because neither of these runners had gotten early release, which means that there isn't going to be any sort of unfair RNG dependent disadvantage on either part. That's all I was trying to say. Radioactive Fog getting poster skip. Will Diceroll follow suit, or will he decide that he's too cool for poster skip? Appears he's following the lead. Who needs to be cool when you can just play Luigi's Mansion for the Nintendo GameCube over and over again, neglecting your social life? Let's see what their Boo release times are. Now, neither of them got early release, so I get a sub 10. Also, the fact that there's a 10 on the screen. 1017 or a very late 1016 for Radioactive Fog. And a 1026 for Diceroll, which means they're about 10 seconds apart from each other, so, you know, he would have loved to have gotten an early release. Joven, that's the kind of forward thinking that I think we need in this Luigi's Mansion No Out of Bounds 2019 tournament. I think you should commentate instead of me, and you should call poster early. So now, Radioactive Fog has released the Boos, and for those of you who don't know what the Boos are, you're in for quite a surprise, because now they're going to be going into rooms that already have the lights on, just like I do, and they're gonna take everything off of the tablecloths and check for ghosts, just like I do. Radioactive Fox setting up the text skip. Will he achieve it? He will not, because the Boo is in the table. Diceroll getting the RNG, that means the Boo will not be in the table at all, which means he will set up the text skip and likely get it. You will see that saves him a lot of time, because all of the text that Radioactive Fog has to scroll through will be skipped. Just like that. Suddenly, their lead is a lot closer. Well, you see, Daycat, I can answer that question for you canonically accurate. They're not trapped. They're simply sleeping, because they didn't expect Luigi to show up, and after they trapped, well, they technically did, because they were luring him, but, like, they didn't actually, because he's, you know, scared and shit, so they sort of just went to bed, and then when you released them, you didn't free them from imprisonment, you simply woke them up. But because Luigi had the vacuum, instead of attacking him like they were originally going to do, they fled in fear. I would like to apologize for saying a forbidden word. I recognize that now my mortal human soul is damned to eternal suffering, and because of that, I will YOLO it and say 5,000 more obscenities this commentary. Because what do I have to lose? I will say though, if anyone has questions regarding Luigi's Mansion lore, gameplay mechanics, or otherwise, I'm pretty much encyclopedic in my knowledge of the game, so I'm happy to answer questions like that. Even if it's like really tiny things, like how many seconds a certain thing saves from something else, I'm happy to answer. Or how you can tell whether a door is real or not, because there are several different ways. Radioactive Fog is now on his way to the washroom, where Diceroll will be heading after he finishes talking to Professor Egad. He could have gotten the mirror without having to shift his camera to the right there, but he goes safely. Now he's going to be doing some doubles, going for fire metal, skip. Well, I guess it's technically the Professor Egad's text explaining the fire metal skip plus the puzzle to get out of the room. But yeah. I would advise you to stay inside of your skin, because the human body is not designed to live outside of its protective layering. But, you know, if these things happen, I can't really stop them, can you? Radioactive Fog, a bit of a sloppy setup there, but he got it nonetheless. If you're a snake, then I'm amazed that you're speedrunning, because you wouldn't have hands. Radioactive Fog with 2 doubles, and he's on his way to activate the object before the cutscene finishes to spawn the Boo right away, open the chest, or get hit by the Boo, that works too. Open the chest, lead it to the left even though he doesn't have to, because there's just enough time to wait for the, doesn't matter. He got it is all I'm saying, and he will save warp and skip a bunch of stuff. Now, It takes 4 seconds from the moment you open a chest for the object that comes out of the chest can be affected by the vacuum. It can be touched immediately and you can activate the object that way, but if you want to, you can get the boo really quickly no matter where you are in the room, because you will be able to get the boo before the length of time before the vacuum affects the object. So it doesn't really feel all that safe, but I assure you it's a bit safer of a strat than it looks. Are there any advantages to either of the movement turn controls? You mean standard versus sidestep? Generally, runners want to stay in standard mode. You have more control over what your movements are, you can turn with more precision, it's a bit more intuitive, but there is a segment in the game later where the mansion has a power outage, and in that segment it's actually a lot easier to handle that room if you go into sidestep, because you can just face your back to the wall and not have to spawn anything. Aside from that, there is really not much of a difference, it's just that standard tends to be a lot easier to control. Radioactive Fog will be using the chest cutscene skip via the hat here to skip the chest cutscene via the hat. This is Loser's Bracket Round 2, Daycat. And I want to point out that Loser's Bracket doesn't mean that we're insulting the runners, it simply means that they have lost their match in the winner's bracket. They still have every opportunity to win the entire tourney if they continue to win throughout the Loser's Bracket. It appears neither runner got the chest cutscene skip via the hat. Not that it really costs any time. Now, Radioactive Fog here will be using the mouse hold to skip the text for this boo, but this, interestingly enough, is only possible on the NTSC-J version of the game, as it was patched out in all later releases. Is it just me, or are they catching ghosts super fast? Well, they're catching ghosts at the normal speed that you would catch ghosts. The damage doesn't change, there's no way to speed up the damage output on the ghosts, but they are using a technique called R-pumping, where they effectively stun lock the boo in place, preventing him from escaping. Radioactive Fog, on the other hand, proved me wrong by not touching the boo, but as you can see, when he does touch the boo, he keeps it in place via some maneuvering that will prevent the boo from leaving. If you mean catching the ghosts super fast, then they're in the Hidden Mansion, which is a new game plus of sorts. It's not really, but you do get a stronger vacuum, but it only applies to normal ghosts and portrait ghosts. It doesn't apply to boos. But you get a stronger vacuum in a Hidden Mansion, which is why we opt to use it during speedruns. Neither runner going for laundry protect skip, that's alright. Oh, you're right, Mini352. I wouldn't want to drown out their ears with my horrendous, because then they won't be able to hear what song Melody's gonna play. So let's be quiet now. Oh, the lightning ruined it. Now we'll never know what song she played. It's okay, Radioactive Fog can read Japanese and he figured it out. Radioactive Fog with the godly RNG, is that actually a boo? It is! Good job, Radioactive Fog, you succeeded. Didn't really have the best opportunity to get the key. He also, I don't think, has the key. There we go, fair enough. So Radioactive Fog with a 2001 water, I believe, will be what he gets. We will see what Diceroll gets for his water after he gets there as well. Diceroll getting the middle timpani boo, which is, you know, not the best RNG, but it's not the biggest loss ever because you have to go there anyway. Yeah, 2001 water, and Diceroll should be getting a 2031, I believe. What RNG will he get? I heard a boo switch, so he's probably not in the sheet. Which means... Oh, never mind. Ooh. I was expecting that to be the boo, but it was not. It was the bomb. Also, Diceroll actually proving me to be a completely filthy dirty liar by getting a 2032 and not a 2031. So now they're here in the Boneyard, where they will talk to... Well, I suppose they won't be talking to Spooky, they will be harassing Spooky. But to certain people on the internet, that's effectively the same thing. Will he get instant? He sure will. Not the most optimal Spooky sucker in the world, but I don't know what Diceroll's doing firing water at the sign. Maybe he wants to give it a nice wash. Missing every one of those water balls, by the way. Getting a double on the radioactive side. For future reference, Diceroll, you want to aim your water shot slightly underneath the seed, because the hitbox is kind of like in the ground. You've never seen a run. Does this have any run-killing tricks? Nope. Everything that you can do in this game is pretty safe and pretty straightforward. If you're playing at really high level, there are some instances in which you can do optional things that save time but will kill your run if you fail. For example, boo double at the very beginning of the game, and in some cases Bleaker boo one cycle, but even those do have backup that you could opt to do, so there isn't any instance of a very likely soft block or you being able to ruin the run for the entirety of it with no way to go about fixing it. It's pretty forgiving in that regard. Radioactive Fog with a pretty good beginning there, and he's keeping control, so I can't see this failing. Radioactive Fog getting a 2235 Dogmire key. That puts him at roughly 100 or 101. Diceroll going for the random, well I say random, but it's more the mystery Bogmire spawn, which is actually a bit closer, so hey, look at that, it's saving some time. And he has a good position for Bogmire too, so he should get this one cycle, no problem. There he goes. Giving him a 2303 Bogmire key. Yeah, Luigi's Mansion's a pretty straightforward game. The category that you're watching right now is called No Out of Bounds, which is essentially any percent, but you don't ever go out of bounds, because you can complete this game in 8 minutes and 28 seconds by clipping out of bounds at the very beginning and walking to the end of the game. But we don't do that in this category because we like to have fun. It sure does, Minnie. I wish you could do it. Radioactive Fog is now on his way to Area 3, where he will be entering the courtyard, falling down a long hole, seeing his brother inside of the wall, climbing back up the long hole, and proceeding on his way. Getting the water in the fountain, using water to, well, the idea is to stop that ghost from spawning, but I suppose not getting scared counts just as well. Also, you use the water to fall down the well without having to climb down the ladder. That's a big one. He will then do a flashlight skip and suck up the ghost in the well. He also missed the key because he was a little bit early. And we'll proceed to climb up the— I should do a play-by-play for the entire this one. So now, Radioactive Fog is going to do Stumble Skip. He will now get the letter from the birdhouse, keeping his vacuum pointed in the right direction to stop the ghost on the top right from spawning. Flashlight skip and he will be on his way to Biff's room. He'll be using Biff's punching bags to keep himself angled, and he will now proceed to walk on the treadmill to activate the key. Almost falls on the treadmill, but he's alright. He's gonna get the key, and then he's going to leave Biff's room, where he will then proceed to shoot water above him through the floor to get the door on fire, without having to walk all the way up the stairs first, saving him some time. He will probably not go for a Tea Room Tech skip, despite it being very easy, because nobody likes to try anything new when they run this game. Looks like Diceroll punched Biff. Of course he did, giving him a little bit of roughhousing as he makes his way back upstairs. Look, man, when you have anger and you have to take it out, you have to take it out. You feel me? I swear that was where the— okay, no, it was that chair. That made sense, I suppose. I thought that was where the boo was, but that's why you used the vacuum. Radioactive Fog should be careful not to touch the cloth. Also getting a bit attacked there by the, ooh, okay. So Radioactive Fog got auto-locked onto the ice element ghost, which means the boo left his beam, and then when he got the boo to 0 HP, he already had some of the tablecloth in his vacuum, which means he couldn't actually do the suck-up animation. So all in all, a lot of things that shouldn't have gone wrong all went wrong at the same time. Diceroll having the same problem with the cloth, but he managed to keep it okay after a little bit of adjustment. Now Radioactive Fog will be activating Nana's yarn, which is a sentence that makes a lot more sense if you know the context, but it's a lot more interesting if you don't know the context. He also missed her, which means he's going to have to walk out and walk back in to respawn the yarn balls and try again. I don't know why he had R pump there, that might have just been for the sake of it. Did a pretty decent job with the sucking of Nana. She is very difficult to control. She has a very awkward pattern. She tends to go high up in the air and she pulls pretty hard, so it's not very easy to keep a grip on her. He could have no problem with this boo, and if he's fast, he will stun the boo and then get the key. No, he's deciding that he wants to— oh, I see. He's deciding he wants to do it on the second ghost, but the second ghost has 0 HP, so the second ghost won't actually be able to respawn if he has the vacuum out. Look at this fast dude. I like him, he is optimal. Diceroll not too far behind now. Radioactive Fog lowering the power of his vacuum for some reason, that was a bit odd. Both these runners will have their both these runners are using their vacuums to walk down the hallway, which is not very smart because you actually walk slower when you're using your vacuum than if you're using an element. So what you should do is, if you have to keep your vacuum out, you should use an element rather than a vacuum while you're walking. Let's see how they do on the 2 doubles and triple at the end. First double for Radioactive Fog, not a problem. Diceroll 2, and not a problem, first double down. Second double, easy, no problems there. Diceroll with a different tactic for spawning them, but he's doing the same setup for the double, not a problem. Radioactive Frog going for the double and not the triple because he wants to not save a few frames. Fair enough. Gets that no problem. Diceroll going for the double as well, but with a strangely different setup that's probably a bit slower, but doesn't matter, he got the double anyway. Radioactive Frog with decent RNG, except the Boo is misbehaving. Diceroll has a poison mushroom, so that's not good, but he should have no problems with this Boo, except for the 5 double cackles he just got. Okay, there we go. As long as he goes to the right, that's not a problem. He went to the right, so that's not a problem. It's probably faster to get the actual Hall Boo after you Moonshot, not before you Moonshot, and someone should, like, think about that, but that's alright. See, Daycat just had the same thought that I had. Why do it before Observatory when it's probably faster to do it after Observatory? Radioactive Fog going for the 360 Moonshot, and he misses it by a huge length. Will he go for a second 360? No, he decided that he had enough swag for one day. It's a direct hit, though. Diceroll also with a not-so-direct hit. Well, it wouldn't make much of a difference of time, surely, but it would be a few seconds at most and a few frames, if any. And for high-level runners, that's very important, so I think if it is faster, people should take a thought, should have a think about that. Look at how close these guys are! Ah, this brings a tear to my eyes. My gorgeous, deep brown eyes. Soaked with the moisture of emotion and tears. So Radioactive Fog is going to now open the door, and we will count the seconds. So Diceroll is 4.5 seconds away from Radioactive Fog. One of them is 4.5 seconds away from the other. They both have close times, is the main point of that sentence that I had tried to convey to you, but am not very capable of articulating effectively. You can piece it away with it, because of the fact that you would end the Boo Suck-Up at the door to the hallway, and that you'd be able to read the radar as you're going into Observatory, and you'd be able to end Observatory or end Astral Hall directly at the door to the Observatory. Radioactive Fog getting the first double, no problem. Diceroll getting the first double, no problem. Radioactive Fog doing the bad setup for the triple there, that's not good. Yeah, he missed it. Diceroll going for the good setup for the triple, and alas, he gets it. Diceroll with not the Boo, although he had a very good chance at getting ahead here. Diceroll getting the glove first. He's probably going to be ahead now, if he doesn't mess this Boo up, which he does not. Yep, Diceroll is ahead. I was correct. You believe that no other pets is all ghosts, including it is not. You skip Suki, you skip Jarvis, you skip Biff Atlas, and you skip Mr. Lugs. Because those ghosts are not required to beat the game. No out of bounds is basically any percent, but without going out of bounds. Oh yeah, I skipped Slim Bankshot as well. Looks like I skipped him while thinking about him. Bankshot always gets the short end of the pool stick. But there's a joke in there that I tried to express and didn't really do too well of a job. Let's take a look at Diceroll's spinning of the mobile. Not so good so far. That's a terribly poor angle, but he can probably... So, let's take a look at their RNG here. Diceroll getting a boo. No, he's getting a twin. Radioactive Fog getting a twin in the leftmost one. Diceroll getting a twin in the bottom left one. Radioactive Fog getting a twin in the top one. Radioactive Fog had better RNG than Diceroll, but optimized his movement worse. If you tell the twins no, they say something to the effect of "you're no fun," and then they despawn and you have to leave the room and back in. Diceroll with the decent suck-ups on the twins there, not an issue, although his pearls are a bit sporadically placed across the floor. So he'll probably have to give them some tending to before he tries to get the boo. Alright, no, he's alright, he's got this. Radioactive Fog optimized the boo and the shoe a bit better, but will he actually? Yes, he will, okay. Not that it helps him too much, because Diceroll is already out of here. Let's see what Diceroll's Chauncey RNG is. He gets it in the drawer to the right. Nope, that is the object. Turns out it's actually in the chairs. Oh, but it's switched. Speaking of switching, oh, actually, wait, I was gonna switch the audio, but it seems that Radioactive Fog might actually be ahead now. Is there any money requirement for no out of bounds? No, there is no money requirement for no out of bounds. It is simply the any percent category, just without going out of bounds. So you can get any amount of money you want, it doesn't. Diceroll get a great tech skip there. Radioactive Fog managed to somehow get the tech skip. Diceroll is still a little bit ahead, but they're coming up on Clairvoya, and in the Japanese text, Clairvoya takes less time, so Diceroll will probably lose his lead here. So, now that we're here talking to Clairvoya, I think it's time that us as a collective audience of this fantastic race should, hang out and talk about our day. What's your favorite kind of coffee? I'm partial to lattes, although I'm able to handle Americano as long as I have a little bit of milk in it as well. I don't particularly like sugar in my coffee, but I do like, cream. So, preferably whipped cream. When I go to Starbucks, for example, I get a vanilla iced coffee or a cookies and cream iced coffee. However, when I go to Costa, I like to have a latte or an Americano. My favorite type of teas include Yorkshire tea, and I like it with milk and no sugars, or one sugar, depends if I'm in the mood for some sweetness. Sweetness is something that kind of comes and goes in terms of my personal preferences. English breakfast tea is good. I've had some at Cafe Number 1, which is a pleasant little cafe chain in the south of England that has some nice tea. So as I was saying, Radioactive Fog is a lot faster with his text because he is on Japanese, so he's now got the lead again. And he also handled the key and the boo well. The boo will be in the chair, so we can just get the chair and get the boo as well. So far, he's doing alright here. Diceroll also seems to have the same RNG, so he's going to do well. He actually handled it a little bit better than Radioactive Fog did, because he activated the object first and got the key, so good on you, Diceroll. I like my coffees to be extra creamy, but that's just because I'm, you know, not the most testosterone-filled individual who is partial to hard, difficult-to-drink beverages, and I prefer some taste. Radioactive Fog not forgetting the ice. Congratulations, fanfares abound. Diceroll also not forgetting the ice. Congratulations, he gets a slightly less enthusiastic fanfare, but nonetheless still a fanfare. Not getting scared by the bowling ghosts, avoiding the sparks on the floor. Radioactive Fog, unfortunately, icing the ghost and having to wait a few seconds to get him. Diceroll here, will he optimize his ice? He will not, but he does do the damage at least, so he doesn't get as much time with the suck up. Radioactive Fog setting a double, getting the double. Oh, I thought you meant spoon as in you drank your gin out of a spoon. Sounds like a heart having a heart attack on the floor there on Radioactive Fog's side. Radioactive Fog getting the boo a bit earlier. Dice having a little bit of difficulty getting the boo. Let's just not take a look at his screen. Radioactive Fog not even in sidestep mode. Look at this guy, he's gonna go into sidestep mode right as he enters the 3rd floor balcony when he has to do the blackout, isn't he? Naughty, naughty. Top of the morning to you, laddies. Hi, it's me, your old pal Jacksepticeye. Welcome to, what is he doing? Welcome to Subnautica, part 3016. Here we are, with Colossus in Subnautica. The game gets a bit convoluted after the 1000th episode, but Colossus is here. Let's see these Bulasi. A very good Bulasi one cycle from Radioactive Fog. Yep. Will Diceroll follow up with that? Let's find out. I'm on the edge of my seat. Diceroll having an unusual delay on his decision to fire the ice ball. You're kind of meant to do it right when it touched the statue, but that's fine because I think he's still gonna one cycle. No, he had the one boo latched onto the thing. The Unicorn Pegasus sculpture sometimes has a tendency to keep the boo from joining the rest of the class. But that's alright, because anything can happen if you just close your eyes and pretend that the opposite roles are switched. Because then, there's no way to know if dice rolls in the lead or not, and you have to rely solely on my commentary. And for all you know, I could have been lying to you the whole time. So now, Radioactive Fog is on his way to Area 4. Will he remember to go into sidestep mode, or are these runners going to be risky and not go into sidestep mode while they're doing the blackout? As the younger generation might say, wink wink, doing the blackout. It is dumb. It's risky and dumb, but it does save a potential 2 frames. And do you have any idea how important it is to have 0.2 seconds off of your run? I mean, that's a whole 20th of a second of time that you're just throwing away. You have pins and needles in your foot? Well, me, if you want to bring your foot over here, I'll show you what I can do with my hands. You too? I don't know you, so you don't get a foot massage. 2 frames is more like 1/15th of a second? No, it's 30 FPS. So 1 frame is 1/10 of a second. Because, wait, no, Joven's right. Fuck, Joven, how could you? I didn't see if they went into sidestep or not, but I'm assuming that they went into sidestep. Accidentally, in quotations, I'm sure. It looks like Radioactive Fog is in sidestep, so alas, he remembered. Did Diceroll? I'm not sure. Look, I don't do quick maths. Unfortunately, I don't have the intellectual capacity to handle basic maths, especially when percentiles are involved. No Pythagoras here from Radioactive Fog. Apparently he also is not very good at math. Also doesn't get early Grim. Early Grim, what was that? It's called Instagrim. And he also didn't get it. But he did get a fast Grimway. Why is Diceroll firing fire into a random abyss? The reason that so many runners switch into sidestep before blue losses is simply because it doesn't matter when you do it, and a lot of people just want to remember that they have to do it at all. So they just do it as soon as they remember, and that happens to be before blue losses. I agree, Minnie, that was kind of strange. I mean, if you think about it, the ice isn't the most important thing in the world because, you know, you can refill it, but it's optimal not to waste all of it because then you don't have to refill it. I don't think that these boys, these beautiful boys that they are going to risk their run and go for Breaker Brew one cycle. Radioactive Fog proving to be a boring individual with no flair for dramatic tension, and skips Breaker Brew. And doesn't even go for the double in the side row. Is this guy trying to be the antithesis of excitement? Diceroll, on the other hand, seems to still be in sidestep mode. Fair enough. God, isn't the sound of shaking those shelves just brilliant? Shake those shelves into my ears more, please. I love it. So Radioactive Fog is going up the stairs as Diceroll hasn't even done the cellar yet. He's gonna have to speed things up if he wants to have any chance of winning this race. He also didn't get the double even though he had 2 chances to get it, but that's alright. It's not the easiest strat in the world. Boo is in the middle shelves. He will be going for Boo first. Yeah, which is not ideal. He could have very easily gotten the key first and did the fast strats. But he didn't want to do the fast strats. He wanted to do the I know where the Boo is, must get Boo now, I have ADD strats. So Radioactive Fog will be going to the Clockwork Room, and I'm pretty sure he knows how to do the double for the soldiers, so he will probably go for the Clockwork doubles just because. Diceroll, I don't believe, knows the strat for the double, but he also likes to be, shall we say, interesting when he decides what he's going to do in his runs, so he'll probably go for it as well. Although it doesn't look like Radioactive is setting up for the double, so maybe he... Safety? Still... He could get it. He does have the opportunity. Will he? He got the latch. And he got the double. It wasn't the fastest double in the world, but he got the double. Look, my dude. Look, bruv. Oi, mate. I'm having the slow internet. You feel me? All my internet's behind. I'm not just commentate blind because I can't see what's happening on stream right now. So I'm gonna do my best to assume I know what's happening. Radioactive Frog will be getting the double in the room on the rooftop that involves ice and 2 purple punchers that have ice on them. And after he gets that double, he will proceed to walk up the ladder, where he will then get a key on the rooftop, and he will then go down, and he will be on his way to the armory room. Okay, my stream's back. Oh, I was a bit behind. Well, he did all those things just before I said them. Diceroll getting hit by fire right after getting all the Shy Guys. I mean, that almost looked intentional, but I'm 99% sure it wasn't. Radioactive Fox seems like he knows what to do in the armory, so he will probably get this room done, no problem. Yep, no problems there. God, you know, this is why there should be 2 commentators per race. Because, you know, the moment my internet dies, I'm just sitting here like, wow, I could be saying something. But every time I say something off script, everyone goes, Foop, why are you so lewd 99% of the time? Oof, double cackles. Oof, oof. Into Jarvis we go. Will he stay in Jarvis? I don't know. He doesn't. He goes down into the armory room. So all Radioactive Fog has to do now is get Weston Boo, and then do Van Gore. As for Diceroll, he still has to get Armory Boo, which is a very difficult boo because the Armory room lasts a lot more than any other room in the game. And as a result, the damage output that you do on the boo has to be varied to account for any potential lag, which means you can't just get into a rhythm and blindly do your R bumps. You have to keep track of what the numbers say. And he manages to get a 1 cycle. Almost didn't, but he does. Radioactive Fog, on the other hand, is currently doing a pipe room, where he will then get the chest and leave the pipe room, ignoring the 3 grabber ghosts. Thanks to the lovely chat, it seems that they've informed me that Diceroll didn't get the triple in the armory room. Commentary is now officially the chat's job. I will just recite what they say out loud. Foop is Poop from Boston Brew. Congrats, Boston Brew. Your chat commentary is top tier. Honestly, I've never felt like I've been more engaged in a Luigi's Mansion Out of Bounds 2019 out of tournaments in my life. Probably because there's only ever been one. Radioactive Fuck, I buy the ice has been sucked up Western and let go right away. Trying to think something's not 2 eyes with the double O and not the W is hard. I feel ya. Luigi's sliding off camera there. Ooh ooh. Wolchie Wolchie. Radioactive Fog misses the Weston Boo. He goes back into the pipe room and he will have to follow him around the mansion. Cue the wacky music. Mom's spaghetti. That's a 360 for some emotes. Luigi with 2 eyes. Let's keep thinking that that's an HD lax emote. Radioactive Fog is now on his way to the room with Van Gogh in it, which is called the Artist's Studio. But we just call it Van Gogh Room, because we're not very creative. Radioactive Fog is currently on high 100 pace. Could he achieve a 100? Who knows? Diceroll has finished the downstairs, and he will now be walking to the upstairs. I don't know what he just did there. I think he mashed B and A when he was trying to go into the menu, and exited out of the menu instead of going into the file. But you know, these things, they happen. It's Luigi's Mansion for you guys. You know, Luigi's Mansion for the Nintendo GameCube, and Luigi was released in 2001 in America. Radioactive Fog gets the first triple with a tasteful spin beforehand. Really pleasant to look at. Diceroll's PB is a 104.26, I believe. 21 even. Radioactive Fog having a very difficult time with these poke and punch. Oof, Radioactive Fog doing the instant stun on the grabber ghost. That's something that I don't even go for because I hate it. I like to lead them a little bit. So far, he's not doing too badly. Diceroll with the first triple, no problem. Technically speaking, this Van Gogh Boo could make or break either of their run. So could King Boo, so neither of these runners is guaranteed to win so far. We're all sitting here in awe, silently watching as Radioactive Fog gets a double cackle and loses Van Gogh at 160 HP, which is not very optimal because that means that it's a little bit less likely that he's going to get the 2 cycle, although he should still manage. And he does not manage. I am not certain if you can one-cycle that last Boo. RTA-wise, it is not possible to one-cycle that Boo, as he has 300 HP, and because he has 300 HP, you cannot get all of that down before you run a cackle, because you can only get 15 cackles before the boost starts to charge out of the room without your ability to stun them, which means approximately only 150 HP of damage, although you can do a bit more if you guide the boo out of the room, as Diceroll's gonna do here. Diceroll having a bit of difficulty with this Boo. I think he's trying to drag it downward. Now, unfortunately for Diceroll, Radioactive Fog is basically guaranteed to win unless he gets a 4-cycle King Boo or something. But again, who knows? This is Luigi's Mansion. Anything can happen. Quick, Radioactive Fog, pause your game for 20 seconds. Both of these runners rocking a time of minutes and 10 seconds so far. This is going to be world record pace if they keep this up. Let's take a look at Radioactive Fog's King Boo setup. So far, so good. Interesting angle on the bomb, but he gets it no problem. Oh yeah, spoiler alerts, Bowser's in this game. Radioactive Fog misses King Boo a little bit there. Will this be enough for a 2-cycle? It will technically be enough for a 2-cycle, but will he do it? Who knows? And he does. He gets a 101, a 32. Not bad. And now let's take a look at Diceroll here. Diceroll going for the very close-up ball throw. Will he get a 2-cycle? He's putting King Boo down on the ground. Is he going for Crown Theft? No, but he goes for a 243 at the end of that, which is very good. Very, very good indeed. He could do a cycle, no problem. Or he could scream, "Why can't I do it?" in chat, which means he very likely didn't get a 2-cycle. Four HP. Oof, we've all been there, my dude. He's literally crying and shaking right now. As am I. If you can't tell, I'm in tears right now. On the floor, face down in the fetal position as I commentate this run. I almost called it a race, but it's not a race, it's a run. The race ended. Diceroll gets a PB. Guys, he got a PB, a 103.07. PB. Hooray for Diceroll. Applause abound. So, now you guys can come into the commentary Discord, where I will give you a post-race interview. So come on down. You're the next contestants on Talking to Fruit Johnson in a Voice Call, the ultimate game show that all of the cool kids dream of being featured on. Sounds like someone's arrived. Hey look, it's Diceroll. Hello, Diceroll.
Hi.
How are you?
I am... I played out of my mind and it still wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough, but you got a PB.
Yeah, it's a good PB. I was
Sure
just That was like the 20th time that I've left King Boo at less than 10 HP, though.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
gosh.
reason that he escaped was because his height was really high on your second cycle, and you are pumped late. It was very good to have happen. It's Luigi's mansion. These things they happen. You can't control it. It's just
True.
Hey, it sounds like Radioactive Fox joined us.
Are you still doing that ASMR thing?
You mean talking?
Yeah, sure.
Yo, for real. Everyone says "Foop," you whisper all the time. Mate, that's how I talk.
It sounds
Anyway,
fantastic.
how are you doing, Radioactive Fox?
I am doing great.
You sound really apathetic.
I don't even know what that means.
Well, looks like you're gonna have to consult dictionary.com. I'll sit here and wait while you do.
No thanks.
So how did you feel about your run?
I felt like I had pretty good RNG for like
Okay,
pretty much all of it.
that's pretty good. You won the race, so I guess you could say RNG carried you the whole way.
Yeah, I missed I missed 360 moonshot badly.
That's okay. You still went forwards, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, and then I saw that Diceroll was right behind me, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna stop screwing around.
Oh, I was about to ask, was there any semblance of it being close?
No,
It was
it was-
pretty close for a majority of it, to be honest.
Yeah, it was like a second behind. For like, I was behind you in Area 3 at a point.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you guys
interesting.
were pretty close, and you would have been close in Area 4 as well. It's just, you both didn't do the best with your Van Gore booze.
Hey,
Yeah.
I did okay.
Yeah, but you still 3-cycled.
Well,
I just panic when I hear that second double cackle. I'm just like, oh no.
So, you two wonderful people, it seems that Diceroll is unfortunately removed from the brackets because he lost. Radioactive
Yeah.
Fog is continuing on.
That's it for me.
Sorry,
went-
Diceroll. Better
I went,
luck next time.
1-2, technically.
Well, you know what, though? That's fine. All this means is that you have motivation to improve your time by 7 minutes and come back strong in the next year's tournament and win every race.
Dude, imagine how good I'll be by then.
Exactly.
I mean, come on. I'm only 2 months in.
Yeah, so you take that inspiration and roll with it.
all right, now I'm scared.
See, you already scared Radioactive Fog. He's gonna forfeit now. I bet he's done with the tournament because he doesn't want to have to race you again.
You're right. I forfeit after I won.
Yeah, that's how that works. Oh, man. Well, I'm gonna just keep grinding and get that sub 1 sooner or later.
I say that exact sentence verbatim whenever I go to the club. So if you guys don't have anything interesting, stream here.
What? Did you say something?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Oh,
Hi. What's up, friend? Do you have any profound words of wisdom to add to the stream?
follow me on Twitch.
Follow Dice
Peace
on
sign.
Twitch. Peace sign. There you go. You heard it. What about you, Radioactive Fog?
Subscribe.
Subscribe, guys.
To me, not SpeedGaming. To me.
Subscribe to SpeedGaming. Subscribe to SpeedGaming 2. Subscribe to SpeedGaming 3. That's hard to say, actually, so I'm gonna stop saying it.
Subscribe to everybody.
Subscribe to all 6 Speed Gaming channels.
Subscribe to
Follow the commentator on Twitter at twitter.com/FoopJohnson.
I refuse to follow anyone with a split girl.
subscribe to Foop's Twitter.
Yeah, subscribe to my Twitter to take away from this race. I should have had that overlaid on both screens, but I forgot. Next run I do, I'm gonna have subscribe to Fruit overlaid on my screen.
Nice. I'm gonna have a lot of trouble beating this time, though, to be honest.
Wait,
Well, you
I
know
was-
what? Dice roll PB, yes.
okay.
Yeah, that's 3 PBs in 24 hours.
Oh wait, you said it says 103. That's nice, dude.
Yeah. We'll make it. We'll come down more. You would prove too fast for me, Radioactive.
Hey, I got a gold on Breaker by less than 1/10 of a second. So
Nice. That's like
Gold.
a whole frame.
No, actually, this run was really good until chat. Then I was just like, all right, whatever. I'm not gonna take it seriously, and I tried 360.
Should have.
No, but that's a good idea.
Next time.
Yeah.
Just punch Biff. It's the best way.
Just get Biff and Biff Boo.
Biff Boo. Oh, if only that saved time. But anyways, yeah, that. Thanks for anything. I don't know, dude.
Thanks for everything.
You guys have been so cool, you know? Like, I just walked in like,
I
hey
am
guys.
pretty amazing.
I'm talking about the community as a whole. I just came in like, hey guys.
As a subjective individual.
Can I speedrun? And
No,
like,
I'm too
sure.
busy being narcissistic. Give me a second. I'm gonna let you finish, okay? But just hold on. Okay, now you may continue to talk about how great we are.
Wow.
I mean, I kind of said it already, but
That's
to
how great.
reiterate. No, just y'all were super welcoming, and nobody ever is like, dude, just watch the resources or whatever, except for Breaker Boo, and then they tell me to not do it.
But you know what? Do what you want to do. If you want to get really good at Breaker Boo, someone I can't stop you.
I'll just do double boo every run from now on.
I mean, it's not like it's inconsistent. You could probably boo double every.
Yeah, maybe.
Be the
Who
first
knows?
person to get double boo in a tournament.
Now that would be something. Has no one really done it before?
I do not believe anybody's ever actually gotten boo double in the tourney. Maybe last year. I believe it was possible that it was gotten last year by someone, but I don't know for sure.
I need to learn 100% if Skazi's really serious about that 100% tournament.
Well, you know, there is the possibility of one, but nothing's set in stone yet.
I'm on board for more tournaments. This stuff is cool. This race stuff is great.
Yeah, you're
All right, guys. If you have nothing else of profound wisdom to say, we will see you next time. Subscribe to everyone.
Subscribe to Mini 352.
Yes. World record holder Mini 3, achieving the ultimate goal of all girls no clairvoyant world record.
Yeah, it's like 5 minutes ago, and I was like, I'll do it now.
Cool. All right, that was great. We'll see you.
Thanks again, guys. Bye.
See you.